I know you've been doing a lot of great things out here. Come on, like Afro Tribe, very just big, just successful story right there. So you gotta let the young ones out here know, like, what's going on? What's the secret? How do you where's the energy come through from?
Well, you doing great things yourself, man.
Bro,
Yeah, you are.
I'm asking you, bro.
No, I know you're asking me, but you do great things yourself. You do great
it.
things yourself.
Thank you.
With us actually starting this podcast is
Yeah,
just that in itself is great. You know what I mean?
yeah,
People know you for obviously your arts in the community,
yeah.
as well as your photography in the community. So man, come on, you're doing big things
I
yourself.
appreciate that, bro.
You know what I mean?
But let's go back to you, bro.
Okay.
What's going on there? What's cooking? What's the because it's involving a lot of people,
Right.
So is it nerve wracking? Like what's that journey like?
So if we're talking about Afro Tribe, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
So Afro Tribe is basically like just us just exploring and traveling, right? That's what that came about, right?
Okay.
So I used to go to New York quite a bit, specifically Brooklyn.
Oh, cool. Okay.
You know what I mean? For work.
Yeah.
And eventually we saw that people were partying there, young professionals.
Yeah.
And we're like, we can actually do something like this in Salt Lake City. You know what I mean? Like we have all the talents here. You have all these professionals in Salt Lake City, but there's no place where people can actually go and actually have a great time.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so myself and my co-founders was like, that's an opportunity here.
Yeah.
To actually do something great.
Yeah.
So basically, that's what Afro Try came about.
Okay.
We saw opportunity. We knew those young professionals that were trying to have a good time. We didn't want to travel to like Brooklyn, LA to actually have a good time. We want to actually have a good time here in Salt Lake City.
Because it's again a success story, and we know so far that people are always looking to the next event, or the hype is real. Everything.
The hype is real.
Y'all are doing your thing, and if anything, I feel like this community, this state, really appreciates what you've pulled through so far.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The energy has been crazy, to say the least.
Yeah.
Even just now, people are asking, when is the next event? When is the next event? It's like,
right.
it's coming. But we don't want to do it too much.
I think next time I will actually maybe do a little African traditional, Nigerian traditional. Because
Wait,
come on,
you wearing the traditional or
yeah,
who's
like
wearing
traditional. Yeah.
Okay, so you going to be wearing the traditional.
Yeah,
clothes.
something,
Okay.
but not too much.
Not too much. Okay, all right.
Like
I'll stay in my normal clothes. And I'll stay.
Bro, you're supposed to support the brothers. Like,
I'll stay in my normal clothes,
Oh my
and then I'll
goodness.
watch you do the Nigerian thing. The African
It's gonna be
prints.
good. You see,
of
bro.
course,
You
of course.
see.
But I do have a few dashiki just watch too. So maybe
I ain't trying to do no dashiki, brother.
No?
That's kind of bait. It's
I am getting hot. It is blazing.
hot, right?
It is hot.
it's hot.
But let's dug it through though.
How was that energy though, Diamond?
That was good.
It's good.
Yeah.
I was gonna let y'all keep rocking.
Oh my!
No, we can keep going.
That's right.
All right, good. I'm glad we got the first thing out of the way, because usually, the first bit is like you wanted to try to get those things out of the way.
Absolutely.
But I'm excited for this podcast. I think this podcast, obviously, the goal is try to bring like a sense of community when it comes to artists and arts in Salt Lake City. When you go to like cities like Atlanta, Miami,
Right.
there's a community of artists, right, that actually come together and actually do great things, right? So I feel like this podcast obviously will bring people together. We can try to interview people.
Yeah.
And I'm curious, like, who are you interested to actually bring on as an
Like
artist?
we're talking international or
Like, I'm sure local.
local?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna say Gabby for sure.
Gabby for sure.
is sensational in the community. And
By the way,
Yeah.
I'm repping him right now.
What was that? Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
I had to.
Yep.
This is one for one, by the way. This is sample hat that he gave to me for this
That's
shoot.
some real culture right there.
Of course.
That's cool.
Of course.
Yeah. So, I mean, yes, why not? Because he is just a phenomenal person. I mean, my big thing is, okay, none of that fake. Oh, I'm humble or whatever. No, like it's in him. He's a humble person.
Well, because I think part of it is because he's been doing it for 10 years. And that's what people don't actually realize, right? Because you've been doing it for so long now, it becomes like nature.
Yeah.
Right? And people think like he just now getting like success, right? But no, like he's been doing this for 10 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A decade now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like what you see now is all these years of actually grinding, right? But what I'm actually excited about is actually him actually getting recognition outside the States. Right, just like recently,
Because I mean, we heard about
New York Fashion Week, right? That was massive, right?
Yeah.
You have all these NFL players wearing his gears now, his merch now, which is amazing, right? Which put Utah on the map as well too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think there's more to come. There's a lot of talent here, right? And that is what I'm looking forward to. But I asked you that question because you know who I'm excited to maybe get on the show?
Who, brother? Who?
I don't know his name, but the guy that actually started Fies.
Okay.
Fies Gallery.
Yeah.
I think it'd be dope to actually get him on. I've heard stories about how it started.
So I mean, we're putting that out there.
We're putting it out there intentionally.
Yes.
And so if he's watching this intentionally, we're putting it out there. I would love to have the owner of Fies on this pod.
Can you imagine he actually comes through though?
Of course he would. Of course he would.
I like that confidence, brother.
Of course, because I mean, this is for the city, right? This is for the city, trying to make sure, creativity is actually, highlighted in the city, right? Because oftentimes, like, other things get notoriety in the city, right? We actually don't get, like, artists actually getting the flowers that they deserve, right? You know what I'm saying? So, like, him coming on will actually tune, like, a lot of heads, like, okay, Salt Lake is actually now seeing these people, creativity, seeing these things, and I think he would definitely do that.
I think because I've been thinking about just like how we mentioned we're talking about Gabby right now, and definitely a lot that traits that's being voiced out there is work ethic. Intense, so
creative grind
is insane. I've been, because personally that journey for me as an artist is figuring out, okay, gone are the days where you just relax a little, like this is what you want to do, you got to put a lot of work to it,
Right.
And that's why I love what we're doing right now with this podcast, because I do feel like a lot of creators out there, they really enjoy the success stories from these people that we're having come through.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, if I was starting off, right, and I want to actually see people that are actually doing great things in the city, right, to actually see, okay, I can do it as well too, right. So I think it's very, very important. The city actually needs this. You know what I mean? I need this. And I need this, and I'm sure you need this as well too.
I do.
You know what I mean? We all do. So
I'm like, we're getting, kind of personal. I like
course,
that. Yeah,
of course. Because I mean, so I hate to pull this out there.
Hey,
it's probably out there already.
You do it.
So I'm actually doing this new party, which is basically it's a brunch party. It's basically R&B only.
Okay.
And it's actually starting off on November 5th at Ibiza.
Yeah.
Nothing is actually confirmed. I mean, it's confirmed, but it's
just
not
so far.
all
That's all the hints you're giving.
Yeah, I'm just giving just a little bit.
Okay, cool.
But it's gonna be crazy.
Okay.
We have a few hosts which you know of.
Okay.
Yeah, which if you if you're the host, we're gonna go to.
Yeah. I do know.
Okay, yeah, exactly. My brother is on it. Maria's on it. And then we have Chelsea on it as well too as the host.
Cool.
And then we have two of the local artists, upcoming artists.
Yeah.
Ernie, and then we also have Doomy as well too, who's also beautiful.
Doomy is she's nice. I think she's doing a great job with the community. I do feel with Doomy, my own selfish opinion is, there is that not only she, skills, but she's connecting, with the community.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and that's what we want. That's the vibes we always want with the art, artistic community here in Utah,
And then it's like, what I really like about her is when I reach out to her to, like, this is, what I'm thinking of, she was on board. And one of the things that she said was like, yo, Salt Lake need this, right? Which is the reason why I'm doing this in the first place.
Right.
So it's like, every weekend, or whenever we do it, right, we switch the artists out to give the local people to actually see who's actually out there, what talent we actually have out there. So I think it would be great. It'd be a great vibe. Obviously, R&B,
Yeah.
R&B vibe. You got DJ, you got Spaz,
We got Spas.
you got Spaz, you got Radical Jones as
we
well.
got Radical Jones.
And Radical,
my-
so
Yeah.
it's gonna be a vibe.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be a vibe.
I can't wait.
I'm excited for that.
So again, it's
November
we're
5th.
thinking November 5th, Ibiza.
Ibiza.
Correct? That's phenomenal. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Do you know I just had to think there for a little bit.
Sure.
Is there, brother, do not lie to us, but where are you with your faith with bringing Burna Boy?
Faith in bringing Burna. So
Like, is it more than faith at this point? Like, you believe it's going to happen?
So obviously, me and my co-founders, obviously, that's a long-term goal. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's the ultimate goal. But the goal right now is to make sure Afro Tribe and obviously Soulful Vibes, which is what I'm started on November 5th.
Yeah.
Is to make sure that we are connected as a community, right?
Yeah.
Musically, obviously, artistically. Is that even a word? Artistically.
Yeah. I mean, it could be.
It could be. So like we want to make sure that obviously we bring the community together, and then once we actually we feel like we've done that, we've been able to do connect the community. Maybe we can try to attract investors and actually do that.
Phenomenal work with what's going on. But so far it's been people listening. It's a lot of art and creating and all that. So in terms of creating though, folks watching this podcast and having that mentality, it's just one of those creatives, arts podcasts. How do we transition with working with like that, those people too? How can we say, hey, no, come through. This is what could happen. So tap in,
Yeah. For what I hope for this podcast is obviously not just bring in like all these great people that are doing great things in the community, but also to have like pop up as well too.
Right.
So like what is artists that are actually great painters, right? Have a pop up where the locals can actually support them as well too, right? Because they have great work, like yourself. Like you have great artwork and pieces, right?
For sure.
Which actually won't want it in my house. So please, man,
Let's set it up.
I mean, like hook me up, please.
We got a print and metal though. This is the new thing. It's cool.
Of course. So please set me up. But that goes to me actually wanting to ask you this.
Yeah.
What is your plan? Obviously, you do great things when it comes to obviously, with taking pictures. Obviously, like in every community event, basically Eddie is the guy taking pictures, right? And obviously, your artwork as well too is actually getting a lot of buzz as well too. So, what is the ultimate goal in terms of what are you seeing? What do you see yourself with what you're doing right now? What is the next step?
So I've started this project. A lot of people don't know about this. It's called Red Earth and Company.
Okay.
And Red Earth and Company.
Okay.
And it's a thing. It's a series I've started since 2020. Okay. And I've just been keeping on pause here and there. So the concept is Red would represent the red clay soil of Africa.
Okay.
And so that concept is we have, Black folks, their stories in Africa, and we also have, African Americans, and we have the stories of anyone that affiliates with Black culture. Okay. We invite them all.
Okay.
But the concept is to produce really just intense imagery that really pushes the story that a lot of people don't know, Right. Because I was actually checked in with this show on Netflix called Conk on Earth.
Okay.
And it just kind of it puts a playful comedic tone to history. So you're learning history, but it's funny at the same time, Right. And I was like, yeah, they're mentioning, Columbus and all those different people in their show, but I'm like, there's been a lot of impactful, people in Africa that we, only Africans know. What's good? They did monumental stuff, So the goal is to put out the stories out there through this imagery and have people learn, have people be inspired, have people want to create some kind of impact to, So that's the baton I always want to keep spreading is, hey, yeah, it's cool what we're doing now, but I do feel like low key, when you're really happy is when you're giving back.
Absolutely.
You're giving back to the community or the culture, and we should never stop that, So that's I don't know if that answers your question. That's
no, it does. Well, one thing I really like about you is you always find a way to actually take it back home, to connect to your roots. Even just before we actually started the pod, you were talking about wearing a dashiki to an Afro tribe event.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, this is a great thing because I feel like when you go to Chicago, because especially now, like our African artists actually get a lot of buzz. Right? Like you go to places like Chicago, you go to places like New York, you get a lot of people that actually get a lot of buzz, and they sell for a lot of money as well too. African artists are selling for a lot of money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I appreciate that. By the way, we have Diamond.
Yo,
behind the camera.
I mean,
super talented.
What you got to say about Diamond?
Oh my god!
Come on, bro.
Diamond. I don't think a lot of people know about Diamond and Salt Lake City.
That's crazy.
Which in some way
it doesn't make sense.
It's selfish reason. I think it's good because we get to keep Diamond for ourselves.
I see what you're saying. We get to keep. But we're trying to give back though.
We try to give back, but we want to make sure.
Cool.
Diamond actually before she exploded, because Diamond's gonna explode.
Definitely.
I told her. I think that's the first thing I told her.
Come on.
I'm like, when I first met her. Actually, no. And this is a true story, by the way.
Okay.
So I saw Diamond's work, right?
Yeah.
On IG. I think it was a music video that she actually filmed, and I was like, who did this? It was so good. It was nothing I've ever seen in Salt Lake City. It was a local artist.
Right.
I was like, man, this is such a great clip. Like, who actually edited this video? Who actually shot this video?
Right.
And, obviously, she was tagged.
Yeah. So
I went through a page and I started scrolling through a page. And I'm like, I said to myself, we're going to be working together someday.
That's crazy.
And fast forward. And she did the last Afro Tribe event.
Check it out.
She did it, which is amazing, by the way. You guys should go on the Afro Tribe page and look at the reel.
It's clean.
It's clean. You know what I mean? So it's like, this is like top notch, like production work. Like stuff like you see everyday people. You know what I mean? Like good work. So fast forward.
All right.
She's a partner as well too for this pod. She's behind this camera.
It's crazy.
Diamond, you want to say something? Come on.
She's cool.
She's super shy.
Real. But that's when the art comes through, though.
You have to put yourself out there a little bit. You too talented to be too shy.
Look.
You too talented to be too shy.
We having a podcast, not a dominant.
And that's how she is. That's how she is.
And that's why we have to keep it. We have to actually speak out for her. Because she won't speak out.
Hey, we ain't complaining though.
I mean, we gotta brag. We gotta brag.
That way, people come to us first.
Exactly. Because can I connect with Diamond? It's like this is the percentage that I take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? 20%, 25%. This is the price. You know what I mean?
Excuse him, he's African. We think like that a lot of times.
Give me my cuts now. Give me my cuts.
But no, it's so my what I think of Diamond is like just a smooth operator, and it's like almost like a snake too. They're slow and all, but like they strike.
Yeah, of course.
She
one thing I really love about Diamond is less talk, a lot of action.
Right.
When I told Diamond, this is what I want to do. This is a vision I want. This is how I want to do it. Say less.
Right.
She's on. So like whatever we need to do to make the work, make it work. I'm on board.
Right.
And she's like, go. And that's one thing I really, really like about you, Diamond.
Right.
Like, it's like action. And she's quiet about it as well, too.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I personally think she's actually one of the great artists we actually have in Salt Lake.
Of course. 100. And that's kind of what I wanted to touch on is you and I know there's, undiscovered talent.
Of course, plenty. There's plenty in Salt Lake City.
Utah.
Yeah.
I can definitely see some. It doesn't even have to be Utah. Where this is this is huge, and I can see some kid, I don't know, up in Brooklyn, somehow gets, is seeing Diamond's, quality of video on Instagram,
Right.
and they're not like, oh, I can do that too.
Yeah.
It's more like they're inspired, like, oh, I really need to do it like that. Right. So with all this undiscovered, artists, are we positive about the Utah's culture? Really discovering them, finding them, giving them the resources, whatever it is, like us, because we're doing that right now. We're building that community.
Right, of course.
Do you see more friction with a lot of people? Like, let's also be part of that community, to help out.
Yeah, I think what we're doing right now, obviously, is a start.
Yeah.
Right. Putting people out there. Right. If we find someone like Diamond, right, that is doing great things in the community, right, is a great talent.
Yeah.
It's up to us to actually shine the lights on them, right?
Yeah.
To give them the flowers. Hey, you are doing the great things, because
Yeah.
oftentimes people are just going about their way. Sometimes they don't know how great they are because
Yeah.
they're in Utah.
Oof.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they're in Utah, because people don't respect this market, but there's a lot of talent here, man.
It's
a lot of talent here. So this is a great start, and I think it's up to us when we actually see up and coming artists, creatives, right, that are doing great things in the community. It's up to us to actually keep pushing them, right?
I guess what are you hoping for, right, with people that want to invest? Or it doesn't have to be materialistic or whatever, or monetary, but people that want to invest, their time, what are you hoping for with that?
Like investing your time in what way?
So let's say we have people in different states, and now they're seeing that friction, and they're believers.
Of course,
like, okay, what's up?
Like, this is a great market.
Yeah.
Like this is a perfect story. With Afro Tribe, like we had obviously pages, DJ pages, Black pages.
Crazy.
Then that's someone we need to actually have on our pod. Even though he's not local, he's going to be here next. He's going to be here next month for the next Afro Tribe.
Okay,
so I think it'd be dope to actually have him on.
Working magic.
Yeah. So like him coming here, I mean, like he knew already like Salt Lake is actually a big market, right? And when he came here, and obviously doing events like, yo, you guys are building something here. Salt Lake City actually have a very good vibe, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And DJ Prince also said the same thing as well too.
Yeah.
The last Afro Tribe event.
So they felt something.
Diamond was actually having a great time at that event. Oh my god, she was having. That was the first time I've seen Diamond actually loosen up and actually having.
Then you did something, bro. I'm gonna pause it there and tell you something real quick. Because we've worked with, I think, one or two other. You've worked with them, two other videographers.
Yeah.
In that scene.
Yeah.
Right. I was doing my thing, taking pictures. You know what I'm saying? And the brother,
you have your fun too.
Oh, of course,
of course.
Yeah, come on, now.
Survive,
you know
of course,
me.
Yeah.
It's like the man that was behind the camera, the videos, right?
Yeah.
I never seen him like that before.
Yeah.
He came through and he was like, "Yo, what's the name of that song?"
Yeah.
And I thought I heard the accent, but I was like, "No, he's African, But what is it with the Afro, the music that is growing? So is grow. It just keeps going, and it's really, it's pushing people in a sense,
I see this way, right? And I think, many people see this way as well too. I think Afrobeat is kind of like how hip hop was, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a genre where it's like, it's happy music, right?
Yeah.
Just the melody, right? Just hearing like, Wizkid, Burna Boy, Bessie, like just those melody, right?
Thames.
By the way, Thames, exactly.
Yep.
Kanye West posting on IG saying that Essence is the best song ever.
Imagine.
That's crazy.
Imagine.
Ever. You know what I mean? So I see, and then also Afro Nation as well too.
Yeah.
Dude, Afro Nation is a different
No,
vibe.
that's a different animal.
Man,
that's a different beast.
Imagine
beast.
Afrobeat Festival on a beach in Portugal with so many people from all over the world.
Yep.
It's a vibe,
Yep.
right? And Ken Smade is actually the founder of Afro Tribe. Shout out to Ken Smade. What he's able to actually do with Afro beats on a global level in terms of Afro Nation people, and they actually have one in the U.S. as well too. They have a few in the U.S. They had one in Miami, and then they also had one in Detroit as well too.
So that energy, you experiencing it. I mean, all your life you've been with Afro music.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, my dad is a huge music head, and my dad was an artist as well too. That's actually the reason why my dad actually moved to the States.
Right.
He used to be a painter.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this. I didn't tell you. I don't know if I told you
No,
this.
no, no. This is
So
new.
my dad used to be a painter. He would travel like all over Europe, and eventually,
This is you.
yeah, my
What?
pops, yeah,
Damn.
yeah, and then eventually, he stationed here, right? He
Oh,
stationed
okay,
here,
okay.
and obviously,
Yeah.
sort of immigrant, brought the whole family.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Eventually, hustled and brought the whole family.
Yeah.
Stopped in New York, hustled in New York for years,
Yeah.
and then obviously, we all end up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a huge music head. It's like every morning blasting music from Bob Marley to Otis Redding, and I also was into music because of obviously hearing him. Actually, it's like every Saturday morning before we even wake up, it's just blasting music. My mom used to hate that.
I'm a part. Because my experience was there was a lot of Law and Order, the soundtrack.
Okay.
My dad kept playing that every time. You know, it's a whole different experience.
Yeah.
But that's cool.
Yeah.
So the Bob Marley and all these different things.
Yeah, exactly.
Did that contribute to your art?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I also feel like, and then obviously in fashion as well too. Like my mom's side, the huge fashion, and you know my little brother as well too.
Yeah,
He love fashion. It's like
also an artist.
Also an artist.
Crazy
as well
with
too.
it. Crazy with it.
My little brother he's a great artist.
Crazy with
very
it.
great artist.
Yes, sir.
But it's like my mom's side is like a huge, fashion head. My aunties will actually, and like they'll wear all these expensive things.
I swear.
And crazy. And I was talking to my mom the other day. This is funny.
Yeah.
I'll tell my mom like, how come every time I go to a store,
Yeah.
right, I don't even know the price of the item. I just go and actually pick up the most expensive thing. She goes, your grandfather was the same way.
Yeah, that accent pulled through.
Your grandfather was the same way. So it's like it goes back, man. It goes back. Yeah, man. So yeah, I think that's how I think my love of music actually came from my dad's side. You know, like listening to this day, my dad is a huge music head, and he listened to Afrobeats as well, even the new stuff as well too.
I just feel because I think you had kind of a healthy approach to. I would assume your parents would not mind you chasing something artistic.
Yeah.
Because your dad was an artist, you know?
It didn't always be this way.
Oh,
though.
for real?
No, it didn't always.
I need to know.
African parents now.
I need to know that. It's just interesting because I know. That's why I'm like, but your dad was an artist. So how did that play out? Pan out?
So obviously my dad was an artist, and his thing was obviously when he moved to the U.S. was like, I want to make sure that you guys obviously don't struggle like I did, right? Especially in New York back then, right?
Yeah.
So his thing was like typical African parents. You want to go to school to become a doctor, a lawyer. But I think over the years they realized, okay, this is what we actually love, right? So even though like we all went to school and and stuff like that, finish college and things like that. Yeah. They realized, okay, it's still coming back to the arts, right? So, like, I think now it's like whatever actually makes you guys happy. Right? And they know that creating makes us happy. Right. So I think they've mellowed a little bit over years. Yeah. But back then it's like, no, you're going to the library. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're gonna make sure that you get good grades and things like that. But yeah, man, typical African parents.
I know.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you're Nigerian.
I'm Nigerian,
so you know.
I do get for sure get that familiarity with what's going on around and stuff. So how does this podcast, I guess, how does this inspire some people out there? Say, okay, cool, yeah, I know I'm creative, but what's to it? Right. Can I be successful with it? How might you see this podcast to inspire those people?
Well, I think obviously this podcast, is to help local artists, right? But I personally think right now, right, is the perfect generation for artists, right? Artists are literally the new rock stars now, right? You're talking about Virgil Abloh, rest in peace.
Yeah.
You know, with LV,
Yeah.
now Pharaoh. Now, like these pop culture right now is like literally these people are the new rock star.
Right.
So I think the inspiration is already there, right?
Yeah.
So if you're authentic in terms of with your creativity and you actually put yourself out there, you know, people will notice how creative you are, right? We were talking about Gabby, earlier,
Yeah.
putting a lot of work, you know, a lot of mileage, and we respect the art, right?
Yeah.
And I think people like that will actually, you know, be sense of some sense of inspiration for the youth, right?
Yeah.
And like what you're doing with, you know, your new projects, right, is an inspiration for the youth as well too.
Appreciate. I think what's been coming to my mind a lot is with, you know, folks being almost competitive, almost like this copy and paste tradition. You know,
I don't like that, by the way. I don't like. I mean, but I mean, like a great artist, right? A great artist is good at obviously learning and maybe in some way stealing as well
Yeah.
too. But you don't want to do a copy and paste.
This is sometimes this is how I see it is. It don't matter what it is. I will never be you, brother. You will never be me.
Right,
you
right.
know. So a lot of times I do feel like because that's a rich experience is that you bring to the table, and should you now be an artist, that's when you are incorporating that journey of yourself into your art piece.
Right.
So it will always be original to
Right,
you.
of course.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
So it's especially in the photography world, I've noticed this kind of a lot of people.
Right.
Oh, damn, that's crazy. That's a new kid in town. He's crushing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm like, but my man, you're still crushing it though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
yeah.
Like, why do we always have to do that? You know, that's his story, and that's how he is putting it out there.
Right.
And so is yours. You know.
Yeah.
But can we talk just for a little bit about that copy and paste? You know,
Yeah, of
almost
course.
Is how good it is. It how you know when is it not okay? And
Well,
stuff.
so I think a lot of the time people don't actually mean it that way. It's like, okay, someone is doing this and it's working so well.
Yeah.
Let me try to do the same thing, right? And if it's working for them, it will work for me as well too,
Yeah.
right? But there's no creativity to that, right? There's no originality from that, right? So, and don't get me wrong, like I study a lot, like even with Afro Tribe, like I look at a lot of people that are actually doing, you know, events, you know, outside of, you know, Utah.
I mean, you have to. It's
Like everyday people,
Yeah.
like Toast Alive, who we actually collaborate with us here. Jerk and Jollof, Afrobeats of the World, which is Black Pages. Like I look at all these people, like I study them religiously, their page, how they actually do their branding. But I don't copy and paste, right? It's important to actually have our own identity as well too, right?
Yeah.
Even though, you know, we see these things, these are obviously like idols that we actually model after, but it's good to also have like our sense of identity as well too. So I don't mind actually copying, right, or actually learning, but it's like copying and paste is what I hate, right? Because you know, because you are your own person, because people can see through that, like, hey, this is not, you're not original.
Yeah.
For actually doing that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. No, because I do think, I think it's an important message out there.
Yeah.
Is that
And music as well too.
Yeah. I mean,
Music as well too. Music as well too. A lot of people do copy and paste.
I almost feel like they have to, and they do it, but you know, at the same time, because they're always trying to figure it out themselves.
Right.
You know, and a lot of times the way you do that is through looking into the past in a sense. You know, so right now, I guess in my own life, I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what's even original these days. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's funny? This is actually one of the reasons why I like Asake.
Yeah, whew, man, bro.
I love Asake for that.
Did you see how the man did the whole thing just out of the window, man? That thing blew up, brother.
Yeah, of course, man.
What's going
Because
on there?
of course, like the brother's talented, man. And this also, you know, comes to what we were saying earlier, right? Like there's a lot of mileage that, you know, people don't know, because this guy used to be a backup singer. He done so many work before he actually become, you know, the artist he is today. But I like the fact that he's actually in his own lane, right? In this, you know, genre of Afro beats, right? He's in his own lane, and it's working for him. Like people are actually seeing him in such a short span, actually selling out arenas, right? He sold out. I think was it the O2 in London, and then he also sold out the Barclays Stadium in New York as well too.
I mean, that's believable.
That's crazy.
I think because you're saying we're getting original from him, right?
Of course.
So a lot of times it's that's what the world needs.
Of course.
It's like we've never seen that before, so we with it. You know what I'm saying? So I love how that works out because Fela Kuti, brother. I mean, that man started the whole thing.
The OG.
I don't, sure, he went to London, he went to, I think, Sweden.
He went to Ghana too, don't forget that.
You went to Ghana too. God bless Ghana.
But
we got to realize.
No. You got to put, no. But I'm just saying, a lot of people got to give Ghana their flowers when it comes to Afrobeats. I know right now, Nigeria is actually
blowing up,
obviously.
Yeah.
But I think like what Hip Life and High Life have done for obviously Afro, beats, and I think some of these great artists they know as well. Too.
Of course,
but
absolutely.
Nigerian artists right now are so talented, man. Like Burna Boy's new album is it's actually one of my favorite albums this year.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I love that album.
Because we have Fela Kuti doing his thing, I do feel like it's almost like he left a mark.
Yeah,
and it almost reminds me of the Jean-Michel, rest in peace, but with his art piece, no one's ever seen that before,
Yeah.
But because that was celebrated and people saw the depth in the whole thing, now it's not like people are copying. It's almost like they just have somehow the same style, and they're just doing because it's almost like he gave them permission to. He's like, this is okay, and that was Fela to Afro music, and at least my experience, that was Fela to Afro music, to Afro pop music, the whole thing, so that's why I think this podcast will push this courage message to people out there that
Absolutely.
hey, yo, that one idea that no one's ever thought about, do not be shy about that.
Yeah, of course. But as you talking, and we talking about originality, right? Like the group that actually comes to mind that I absolutely love that I think people sleep on is the Cavemen. You know them, the Cavemen. I love the Cavemen. High Life. The Cavemen are so underrated, man. Like I wish they can get more love, man.
So this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the Cavemen in Utah. Are we meant to put this out? I don't know. I'm trying to have no one steal this idea. Should we pause it?
Let's put it out there now.
Okay.
Let's put it out
Cavemen
there.
The Cavemen in Utah.
The Cavemen in Utah. I will try to bring Cavemen into Utah. I like that.
We're not talking like like the DJ, and we're talking just
smooth vibe, of
a
course,
bar or something like that.
That's a vibe.
They're performing to like
I think that's a summer vibe.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That's a summer vibe.
Because that's the vibe they bring.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be a summer vibe.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm thinking. But it's crazy though with the Cavemen.
I can see them actually coming to Salt Lake. That could actually happen.
Oof, that's talent right there.
I really love the Cavemen.
Why though? I mean, what's with it?
Because I mean, like it reminds me of it's High Life, right?
Yeah.
And it's like High Life is like the original music in Ghana.
Say that again, brother.
You know what I mean? The original music in Ghana, like it have that authenticity. Like every song, right, that you hear from reggaeton, from R&B, to jazz, to soul. The base, the fundamental music is High Life.
That's wisdom right there.
That's High Life. So it's like
at the core.
The core. Like if you making like Afrobeats, when you're making beats, when you're producing beats, like the base is High Life. Right? I think who was saying that? I think Jules was saying this. Jules is actually one of my favorite producers, by the way.
Yeah.
And he was saying that the base is always High Life. And it's true.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So but this, I forgot the name of this album. They have a song called is this Sweet Rain? That song is absolutely beautiful.
Does it feature anyone?
No, it's just them.
Oh man.
But yeah, that's the reason why I love it, because of obviously the High Life.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, they need to pull up. You know, that'd be cool.
They will. I mean, if the money's right, why not?
The money will be right. I keep having this, I guess, optimistic, you know, vision that Utah will be all right. We're all right. It's gonna happen.
Let's switch genres for a second.
Yeah.
What do you think the best hip hop album of this year was? I mean, Drake just released a new album, which there's a lot of back and forth about how people feel about that album.
It's gotta be Kendrick.
Kendrick?
Yeah, Kendrick Lamar's
album this year.
Yeah. Did it come out this year or last year?
I think it was last year. Diamond, was it last year or this year?
I was just about to look it up.
Yeah, it was last year. It was last year.
So we're talking this year.
Yeah, it was last year.
It's gotta be Travis Scott.
Travis Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, dude. I mean, like,
was it a lot? Was it too much for you or what?
I think I like Astro World was actually my favorite album of Travis Scott.
Okay,
like that album's still like my jam. Repeat.
Yeah,
I loved that. And I think those when it came out, it was my good friend who also ironically his name is Eddie as well too.
Yeah.
He was actually in the season, and we used to listen to that album all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like it take me back there. But for me, he's like all against him. My favorite album this year, and I hate to actually say this out loud, but it was Gunna's album.
I mean,
it was to be honest, that album was so fire to me. And I keep telling people, I'm like, that album was so fire.
It was.
And people's like, I have a friend who was making fun. It's like, why you listen to the Rats? I'm like, bro, who cares? I'm like, who cares? We don't know the whole story.
Yeah,
we don't know the whole story.
Yeah,
it's like what we care about most is the music, right? And for him to be able to actually put out that project with no features, to do what he did with odds against them, man, that album was so fire to me. I listen to the album all the time when every morning when I'm getting ready for work.
Look, I don't
you know what I mean?
It kind of went hard.
It is.
It
is.
You know?
And it's like you got LeBron James playing that album. That's why obviously what people are saying about what Gunna did. Obviously from that case, but you know what I mean. But it's like that album was so fire. So that album.
You gotta give us a second. You gotta give us a second, like album, like the best, the second place.
The second place, for hip hop or just in general.
Hip hop.
Hip hop. I didn't really mess with any other album like that. The thing with me with albums, right? And I listen to more albums than just singles or just music. Like if I like an album, I'll listen to it for like a good few months, right?
Yeah.
And it's like when an album comes out, right, I'll listen to it for like maybe a few hours. And if I relate to it and it's actually a good vibe, then I'll actually stick to it for a few months. Okay. But if I don't like it, I just like, okay, this is not it.
Okay.
But I'll listen to it for like a few days. It's like, this is not it. So it's like, there's a lot of albums that came out this year. It's like, I'm not too sure. But for some reason, Gunna's album, it's like I couldn't put it away.
Let me just tell you, I mean, it's either you connect or you don't. That's what music is, you know. And for me, growing up, that was Enya, and that was also, Michael Jackson and Bob Marley, because I thought they were telling stories, they were deep and stuff.
Yeah.
So
those are pioneers.
You gotta connect or you don't connect. So I do. That's why I appreciate music as this creative platform to always, put your voice out there.
Yeah. But what do you think the best Afrobeats album was this year? I mean, so far the year's not over.
Asake.
For sure. Hey. What do you think? What compared to Burna's album? What would you say?
They were both good.
They were both
really good.
But you put Asake a little bit above.
Definitely. Yeah. Because I think Asake, he brings, the guy that Chris, he brings that like madman, just I don't care, whatever it is. And I think kind of people that have that mentality, they're like, oh, yo,
his whole vibe changed. His whole vibe changed too, though. Like the way he dressed as well too.
which maybe we got to link up with the person that dresses as Shakira, bring them through this
So,
podcast, brother.
Yeah. But because his whole style changes well too. It's like it's like I was watching this video. I don't know where I was actually watching it. It might be YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I think he did the Barclays Stadium. He sold at the Barclays Center the same week that Fashion Week was actually happening.
Right.
And I think half though, maybe that same week, he went to an event, and his outfit that he was wearing was like,
it's insane.
It was insane.
It's insane.
It's like you can tell, okay, that's Asake. You know what I mean?
Which is I'll keep it real, which is why I'm excited for where this is gonna go.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to be so fluid and so diverse, brother. Of course, with the people that are coming through,
bro, we can take it anywhere. We can take it in fashion. We can take it hip hop. We can take it Afrobeats. We can take it arts. Like we can take it anywhere, and we love all these things, right?
Yeah, because they have a voice, and they always, especially local ones, they always want to tell everyone that, hey, yo, it's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. We're out here, you know. So if there's one word, I'm curious.
One word, okay.
You're trying to put out there about this podcast. What would that word be?
I would say inspire.
Okay.
Right? Inspire, right? To be able to inspire, be able to inspire, like, up and coming artists that, hey, yes, you're in Salt Lake City, right? Yes, you're in Utah, but like, you are just as talented as someone that is in Brooklyn, right? Someone that's in Chicago, real. Right?
Yep.
Because honestly, man, like, these big cities, right? The reason why, like, they blow up because they have the opportunity, right?
Yeah.
But we just as talented as they are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's the same way with, like, just regular jobs, for example. Like, you can do the same job as someone that's doing it in New York, right?
Yeah.
It's just that, there's more opportunities there, or those jobs are there, and they're not in Salt Lake City. So creating, this space, obviously, where it can actually push that narrative, and then push, that, that is possible for an artist here or a creative here to actually make noise outside of Utah.
That's some real word. Yeah. And I appreciate you sharing that, because that gives me hope too. Yeah. And I think the word I personally keep coming back to is success. Like, it's a success story. Arts can be a success story, and I think where this can go could definitely inspire people, that you mentioned.
This inspires us as well too, you know what I mean? Because we are, for me personally,
right,
like, in sense of, like, what I want to do, I'm nowhere close to where I want to do, right? And I know the same for you as well too. In terms of what I want to do, Afro Tribe, what I want to do with, like, like music, festival, events and things like that. Like, I don't think I'm even close to where I want to be yet, right? Yeah. It's like we just started, right? And, like, just to see, folks like yourself, or folks in the community, inspire me as well too, right? To keep going, right? So
I think it's a train. It's a train, and we're in, like, halfway. We're a little past halfway. Whatever it is, we are telling folks, we're screaming out, like, yo, we're screaming to the back. We're like, yo, it's cool. Let's keep pushing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Bro, you know what's funny? Like, when we first had a Afro Tribe event, and we started posting videos, people like, yo, is that Utah?
That's crazy.
I didn't know that there was so many black people in Utah. Like, yo, I did not know there was so many black people in Utah. People are going crazy. And even to this day, right? Like, we'll post videos on, like, IG, and people are like, yo, is that like Brooklyn? Yeah. Like, no, that's Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
There's black folks here. You just need to create the atmosphere and vibe, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like we've been able to actually do that, and I hope we continue to do that even on the bigger scales. It's like, you generally see people come together and actually have a great time. The energy there is crazy, and that's why you see people like Diamond, like, she usually don't do anything, but when she comes to these kind of spaces, it's like, yo, the energy is crazy. She's it's affect her, like it's like a vibration, right? And then she also go on and actually have a great time as well too. And that is what we trying to hope to continue to actually do. You know what I mean?
That's true. Yeah.
So and even on a bigger scale, right? And I think a lot of people, and one thing I really want us to try to do next is, a lot of people think Afrobeat is, or maybe have a different perspective of Afrobeats, right? And then when it comes to the event, their perspective changed completely, right? Because they see, even though sometimes they don't even know, some of the music, just seeing people actually singing their lungs out, right, having a great time, it's like, this is a vibe,
which is a whole vibe,
and then they keep coming, right? And then they bring a new crowd. So I hope we get to do a little more of that, so actually keep bringing a new crowd, right. So that's my hope.
I hope that as we struggle as artists, we come to the the event, and we have a little fun.
Yeah, of course.
We go to that good struggle.
Yeah, of course,
as artists,
of course.
As creators,
because like
so.
And it's someone told this girl told this to me. She was like, Evans, like, I have never gone out in Utah and actually let myself go and have a good time. Afro-Tribe events are the only time I actually get to do that. She said this. She was like, the only time I do that is like when I'm in like Houston. I'm like in Atlanta or like Brooklyn or something like that. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's the point, right? We don't want it to be like a table culture, right? Where people are popping bottles, right? And it's about just the bottles. We want it to be about the music, right?
Yeah,
and people having a good time.
Yeah. Wow. So a lot has been said, and a lot will definitely be. Be.
This is just the
in
first.
The future, and I can't believe I was struggling with the word right there. But as we wrap this up, though, what do you want to say moving forward?
I'm excited for this. But before we wrap this up, I want to also ask you this as well too. What do you want to see out of this? This.
I want to see a family, and I know that's kind of but I do think we can be a family. We can always collaborate. So this is a call out there to, let's collaborate more.
Yes.
And let's join forces. And if it's like Utah would be the family unit, and let all the siblings, and trying to use the analogy here, but as we're siblings, let's work together to put our name out there, our family name out there. That's what we're trying to do, Utah.
Right. Yeah, but. For me, I love collaborating, right? Yeah. If it makes sense, yes, let's collaborate, right? Because I think sometimes, just collaborating for collaborating's sake, you got to make sure that obviously both brands actually make sense, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you don't want to actually confuse a brand. Right. So it's like us collaborating with Toast of Life, for example, right? Yeah. It's a San Francisco brand, right? But it made sense to actually collaborate with them because we see, what they actually building out there. And, that's something that we want to actually try to model and actually build something here in Salt Lake City, So branding is definitely important, and I'm all about, collaborating, especially collaborating with local promoters as well too, as for Afro-Tribe.
Definitely.
Yeah, but I do agree with you though. We definitely need to collaborate more, not just for event, but, everything.
Definitely. I guess that's it. It's walk.
First podcast, many to come, many great things come. We'll have many hosts.
We're learning.
We'll have many guests, not hosts. Guests.
Definitely.
I'm looking forward to who's going to be on the pod.
I'm excited.
Eddie, this is going to be fun, man. I'm excited, brother.
Look,
I'm excited.
We're doing it.
We are doing it. No. First of all, I think before we end this, we got to actually talk about how this actually happened, right? Keep going?
No.
Let's stop. Okay, all right. Have we been going that long?
We were having fun,
55 minutes.
Damn.
We were having fun, man.
But we gotta chop that out. I feel like we made so many mistakes.
Close it out real quick.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for watching.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Well, so Eddie, I think this has been a great first episode.
It's been a journey. Love it. It's so far very smooth, I think.
Yes.
And real.
Yes.
That's the message we're trying to send out there.
Yes. Amazing. But we hope to for you, the viewers, thank you for your tuning in, and we hope that you guys could join us next time.
We appreciate y'all.
All right, peace. Until next time.